Hello students, today I'll explain you the poem On Killing a Tree by Gieve Patel. This poem has been taken from Beehive, the textbook in English for class 9th. On Killing a Tree is a poem written by Gieve Patel. Gieve Patel is an Indian poet. Rather, he is a multi-talented person. He is not only a poet but a playwright, has written a number of plays or dramas, is a painter as well as is a doctor. And he particularly has written poems based on green movement and specially has done a lot of work which is actually an effort to protect the environment. This poem on killing a tree is simply an explanation of destruction of nature. The poet talks about human deeds, the evil deeds of cutting trees and in this way destroying whole nature. In this poem, the poet has warned us of the future of Earth. He has warned us of the upcoming disaster if we do not stop deforestation and we do not take to afforestation, then the destruction of nature is very obvious. So let's see what the poet has written in this poem. It takes much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown slowly, consuming the earth. In these 4 lines, the poet has used 2 difficult words. Jab means a sudden cut and consuming means absorbing. In these lines, the poet says that it's not easy for a man to kill a tree just by cutting it with a knife. Because if we cut a tree with a knife, just the superficial part, just the above part which is visible above the earth's crust is cut down and is fallen down. But man has to understand that a tree, a huge tree, cannot grow overnight. Why it cannot be killed? Because it has slowly and gradually absorbed nutrients from earth for many years. It's a time-taking process and only then it turns out into a huge tree. So just by cutting it, you cannot kill a tree. Rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous hide, sprouting leaves. In these lines, the poet says that the tree comes out of the earth by absorbing nutrition from the earth. It absorbs sunlight, air, and water for many years. Only then it turns into be a big tree, a huge tree. The poet says that the leaves are seen to be growing on its branches, means leprous hide means a discolored bark. The bark, which is normally of a dull brown color, out of that hard covered bark come out the soft and tender branches and leaves out of it. And even the branches are there in several layers simply to protect and shield the soft parts of the tree, that is the twigs, the leaves and the tender branches. So the poet says that the tree itself is so protective, it is taking care of itself and it has used number of years to grow into a huge form. So you cannot simply just kill it by cutting it from just above the ground. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature boughs which are unchecked, which if unchecked will expand again to former size. Now in this stanza, the poet once again makes it very clear that just by hacking and chopping means cutting it mercilessly, ruthlessly. If you just cut a tree with a knife or with a cutter, you cannot kill it. Why? Because the poet says that you have given a lot of pain to the tree, even though there is a lot of pain, so much of pain it gets when you cut it, but even then it doesn't get killed. The poet says that even after cutting it into smaller pieces, or even after just letting it fall down after being cut, its bark bleeds. Now, here bleeding bark means a white colored liquid that comes out of the bark when it is cut down. So, the poet says that after some days it will dry up and it will have no pain now, but still it will not be killed. Why? Because when you observe after some days, from that point only where you have cut the tree, will come out soft, tender, and green small branches, small twigs. Miniature boughs, miniature means small branches. So leaves and branches start coming out from all around the area that you have cut down. And he warns the man that if you don't check it, if you don't cut it once again, the tree will once again take its original form, means those branches and leaves will grow up and those branches will take the form of a huge tree once again if you don't check it, if you don't cut it. So this is the proof the poet wants to give us, that just by cutting a tree with a knife you cannot kill a tree. No, the root is to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be roped, tied, and pulled out, snapped out. In these lines, the poet himself is suggesting the ways that what a man should do if he really wants to kill a tree. So he says that no, don't let the small branches grow from all around its cut area. Just tie the roots and pull them out of the earth, out of the anchoring earth. Anchoring earth means the soil that holds tightly the trunk of the tree and keeps inside very tightly the roots of the tree, and because of that the huge tree does not move, it does not fall even though there is a wind, there is a storm, it remains standing just because of the anchoring earth. So he suggests that you have to tie the roots and to pull out the whole roots out of the anchoring earth. It is to be roped, tied, and pulled out, snapped out. And when it is pulled out, it should be snapped out. It should be cut and thrown to dry. In this way, the poet suggests that if you really want to kill the tree, you will have to do this much of the effort. Or pulled out entirely out from the earth cave, and the strength of the tree exposed. The source, white and wet, the most sensitive, hidden for years inside the earth. In these lines, the poet has created a contrast between what he suggests and what actual is the strength of the tree. So he says that if you tie the ropes and you pull them out entirely means completely, out from the earth cave. Now earth cave means that part of the earth, that part of the soil where the roots are hidden inside the earth, and the strength of the tree exposed. Only then, the poet says that, only then can you see the real strength, the real power of the tree when it will be exposed. The source, white and wet, and the roots actually are the real source of the life of the earth, which remains hidden, which remains inside the earth and is never exposed, is never seen by anyone. It is white colored because it is inside the earth, and wet. Why wet? Because it contains a lot of water, and that water it gives to the trees and the trees remain alive. The most sensitive, and on the other hand, the poet says that is the most sensitive part of the tree. Why? Because it remains hidden. It is never exposed to sunlight and air. It remains inside the earth. It is hidden. It is sensitive. It is white and wet, and it is the real source of the tree. And it has remained inside the earth for several years. So now the poet is creating a contrast by saying that if you want to kill it, just pull it out. And on the other hand, the poet says that it's not easy to pull out the real source or the roots of the earth because they are lying inside the earth up to many meters and it's not easy to pull them out. So here is a contrast in these lines. Then the matter of scorching and choking in sun and air, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. In these lines, the poet says that after the tree is uprooted, after its roots are pulled out, he says that what happens next to them, the man has to see that only then the tree starts dying. The process of the dying starts because the roots get scorched and choked, means they get dry and decayed because of the action of sunlight and air upon them. And then it has to go several steps, it has to take several steps, it has to undergo several stages to lose its life, because then the roots which are uprooted will get browned, will get hardened, will be twisted, will be withered, means they will die, they will gradually start dying or diminishing. And only then, only when the roots will dry up, they will become very hard, they will lose their life, they will lose their softness, they will lose their white color, and they will just twist down into a dead, dry matter. Only then the tree is killed. So the poet here warns us that only then can you completely destroy a tree. So in these lines, the poet, he is very much worried about the destruction of the nature because of deforestation. And we observe that people are very rapidly carrying on the process of deforestation, and that day is not far when we will live on this earth without trees, and then we will see that it's too difficult to live without trees. So the poet here has given us a hidden suggestion that we should start the process of afforestation. We should stop deforestation, otherwise the destruction of earth is no far.